Okay, so I'm sorry, this camera phone is all kinds of messed up here. My camera is hacked. I am just now noticing this. Okay, it doesn't surprise me. So I'm going to leave this. Party is still going to pick up as I narrate. The special ops did stuff, and it was ordered directly by a white neo-Nazi organized crime member from some Italian mafioso. White Italian mafioso. You can hear these mufflers, whoever is listening to this video, the mufflers are on a low scale right now. And so is that party. But let me get to the most important stuff for the special ops. When you flew, I just fucking said it. Okay, when you flew over, I'm not supposed to talk about anything you do. Okay, I can't describe what you did, but what you did wasn't just flying over, it was fucking unforgettable. And that was the first time I have ever seen them do that and heard them do that, where they got louder and started going, wah, 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 and making fun of you. It's exactly what I would tell anybody I witnessed the white nationalist terrorists do. There was about 5 of them. The party wasn't as loud. And they made fun of you when you did unforgettable stuff that I am sworn to secrecy and can't talk about. I'm getting really tired of it. They were in the yard and they went, ah, and they made all these crazy weird noises and sounds with their mouths at the top of their lungs, and they were screaming and yelling and hollering so loud you could hear them at least a block away. And they did it. It was obvious. You could tell even if you weren't looking or anything that they were making fun of and yelling at the military. And that's, I won't say any more about, I'll just say military. Like a person would say, where was the military? What were they doing? I can't say it. Okay, you see how the party got real quiet? They keep going in and out of their house, but they're still out there. It gets real quiet. I'll get to that, but this is such a fluid fucking terrorist cell. I really want to stick to the main thing. It's an Italian mafioso. He sits right by with Trump lately and gives Trump his big wild ideas. It has absolutely no military strategy whatsoever that he told that party when there was about 5 guys out there to shout at the top of their lungs. You could hear them as like being at a football game at the freaking military. It was a mafioso telling them to do that. Nobody in the right mind in the military would do that. So this place is a warehouse of chemical military bombs, hot bombs, and a warehouse of chemical military gases and poisons. So for the fact that the mafia is telling them to do this jackass shit is phenomenal. There's nobody giving them any actual good advice here. So they'll just get shot off. He told me that the good military isn't, I said it wrong. The evil military isn't quite gone. And at any point, those people tonight could get shot in their yard. Just picked off and left for dead. Like you heard about in Ukraine, people just found dead. That's what it's going to be like here in DC before they bomb. They're not going to let anyone in this terror cell sit in their yards, dude, and run around in their cars. And this is so fucking out of the question. The people who set this up are former military from other countries. All right, so I'm really very aware of that. I'm also supposed to tell the special ops, and I can say it publicly, that because it's so hot, caliente here, this is a fucking terrorist fucking compound. I could only listen to one Christmas album the entire Christmas season. I mean, if you even know me for 6 years, you know how serious that is. I didn't listen to any Christmas music. It was so fucking deadly this year. And tonight, for the New Year's celebration, I couldn't even watch TV. I have sat here in the fucking dark and listened to combat in this house, but I can't talk about it. I have to shut up. It's not my business. I have better words, but I can't because I hear nothing but mufflers. And I hear nothing but screaming fucking terrorists. I say things like I'm from the street corner, but it gets the point across. It's not my business. I'm not part of this ground war. I have to hide away from it and don't be talking about it too much, okay? There's been chemical weapons used. I can put that, what they did to me up, but that's all. And there's been massive terrorism I've witnessed in this house that I can't talk about, besides the combat. I haven't watched any TV and I've sat in the dark. And that house over there, that terrace compound, was, I don't know, within this night, about half an hour ago, so loud that you could hear them a block away. There was a really large group out there with some screaming women, screaming men. And what I filmed just now was the more quiet end of that party. And the party completely vanished and went away and then popped up. Everyone's right back in their yard. And now for the public, these are terrorists. 2 of those people in that house at that party who are at that house, okay? They crawl into this house. This is a terrorist compound. Those are terrorists. So that is why this is a good life for them. They don't want to be anywhere else in this Nazi city because this whole town is rampant with Nazis and Muslim terrorists. These terrorists that you heard partying, that backyard is as good as it could possibly get. They have piles of drugs in their house. They're getting paid to do heinous, violent crime and try to blow up the Virginia fucking airport with law enforcement and the Mexican cartel. This backyard to them is living it up. They're from some country in the Midwest, some country town. They all came here. I've been saying that since I came to DC. They moved here, all the country bumpkins and the Middle Eastern terrorist types moved here. At the time I was informing the public about that, they had been moving to DC for about 6 years before I started informing the public. So they have an infestation now of country bumpkins from South Dakota and a gang of Middle Eastern terrorists that have infested the metro area. I mean, you can't get away from these scumbags in the metro. I know. I've lived it. They're the fuck to Rockville and back. Okay, so that backyard explains why they don't leave the backyard when there's opera, when there's all these glamorous places to go in a city like Washington, D.C. What do? They never leave that backyard. They just sit there until the world is spinning around them. They're so fucking high and drunk. They're country bumpkins. This is living it up. They have a direct line to some Italian mafioso telling them to shout really loud so you can hear them a block down the street at fucking military, which is what they did. 3 dudes did that, started going like a football game. And then the ladies came out. But 20 minutes after that, it got even fucking louder. And now it started to tone down. And I want to end this video about this actually video evidence is what it is with remember what happened to me today with the chemical weapons poisoning. And what I said about how I started to cry because they wouldn't stop fucking poisoning me. And all I was doing was crapping and crapping and crapping. And don't forget about how I described the wiping, the constant piles of toilet paper covered with diarrhea. And then I would stuff them into a plastic bag to get the biohazard. And then the piles of baby wipes covered in diarrhea. And this is just with 1 dose of poison. And then 10 minutes later, more. They'd hit me with more of this chemical weapon. And I'd fill up another plastic bag with piles of toilet paper covered in diarrhea. And then you have to wipe up more with the baby wipes. And to these terrorists who you hear partying and the ones that are in this compound, that registered to them as it was working. The poison chemical is working. No, it's not working. They've been poisoning me for a year or longer. It doesn't work. You're torturing me. It doesn't matter to them. Either way, it's great for them. Torture her or kill her with the poisons. And you're hearing them now party 3 doors down. And I wish I could have filmed it when they were really loud. Now, I'm going to put up the last chemical poison, okay? They did it to me again. And I put the time and date. And I'm going to sign off.